Fellow traders, 'tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, January the 19th. The year's 2026. Let's talk trading, weekly, open, and gap. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. As always, have risk management in place so you don't lose more than you are willing to lose. So we'll jump right in, take a look at the weekly chart, and the dashboard tells us we have a few pairs that haven't filled the gap, and it seems like they're all Swiss franc pairs. Notice that every pair gapped down. It's kind of interesting. Every pair, all red, they all gapped down. Right now, the pound is 77 pips over the weekly open and just less than a pip off the high, and we've got 84 pips of range. So the pound's making up some ground. We are putting in the opening range for the week, and we're still below the opening range for the month/year. So we'll see if we dip back into it, might be able to catch a short. And if you look here, you can see, if you draw a trend line from there, you draw a trend line from there, you can see it's kind of channeling to the downside. And just looking here, you see this big candle? This is a return bar. So price might want to return to that open of 1.3207. I'm not saying it will, but return bars, price has a tendency to go to the open of those return bars. And taking a look, so for the year and the month, it's the same once again. And we can see we're 33 pips below the monthly yearly open, 143 off the high, 84 off the low. And it looks like we've got a lot of inside bar action happening. We had an inside bar daily on the last trading day, which was Friday. You can see we've blown through that area. We're now in the weekly inside bar from 3 weeks ago. We're in that range. Once again, these horizontal lines stay put. You can trade them. And once again, 85 pips of range. We have 5 pairs over 100 pips. And considering the U.S. is on a bank holiday today, MLK Day, it looks like the boys in London, or the traders in London, wanted to move the price back up. So tomorrow, look for a correction. That's possible. And you can see here, it just shot right through the buy zone. Second trading hour of the day. This is M30. You can see just hasn't looked back. And looks like we went through the psychological 34.25 level here. It's coming back down. Red rats, prepare to feast. Bambino flex indicator saying to go short. Pivot trading plan, price near the pivot, and R1 was short. So it looks like that R1 short, looks like there was a couple of nice trades there. But since then, it's moving on up. And if you look at H4, what's this? It's the biggest red bar. That looks like a return bar to me. So price may get back up to the 134, call it 36 level. So right about there. And on the daily, we've taken out the pivot. We've taken out the weekly pivot. And we've taken out the monthly pivot. And went right through the lower wick zone, and then now we're on the upside of the upper wick zone. Notice closing outside the wick zones back up to 70%. It was as low as, what was it, 66, 2 out of 3. So now we're 7 out of 10. Still odds that Vegas would kill for. And looking at the smart range at 85 over the last 12 weeks here, you can see we're at the 0 percentile. We have not broken out at a previous weekly high. We did break out at a previous weekly low. Actually, it opened outside of it. So if anybody was holding short over the weekend, probably couldn't have covered because I bet the spread was horrendous. High minus close is 2 right now for the red rats, 83 pips for the green rats. Weekly crossover traders, so it just moved up. So high minus open 77, open minus low 8. Once again, with the spread, I don't think you could have covered that. That opening spread's usually crazy, 10, 20 pips sometimes or more. We're back up to the psychological 134.25. Notice this return bar on M30. But also notice there's not much range here. Once again, bank holiday in the US of A. So sometimes this is a good day to watch or work on something that you need live data. Like if I was working on an indicator, make sure everything's calculating properly, plotting properly, etc. But for those who want to trade, you can still, do your range trading. Here we had a highest low trigger just this minute as I was speaking. And once again, so you see 3 ball, 1 ball, slight gap down. You could take that trade, push back down to this candle, open possibly. And you can see here, looks like we're about the midpoint, just flashed down a bit. So when you see price do that type of flashing, you might not want to be trading this because it's really difficult to nail those. Looking at the price action score, you can see here we had 6 greens in a row. Could have taken a short there. We had 4 reds in a row. Could have taken a long. So waiting on that price action score has really minimized my inflections. And it's just something that's so simple. And so I'll just sit here and look at the multimeter down here on M1, and then I use this as a gauge. So we've got 6 on M15, 6 on M30. So I'll be looking for shorts here if I was going to trade. Like I really want to go short here at the 25, but not with that count. And you know, our minds can play tricks on us. And one of the tricks that it plays is that if we don't take a trade that we want, oh, I could have had that. But that's only half the picture. What we don't remember are the number of times that we didn't take a trade and we would have gotten smashed. We would have gotten our heads handed to us. Because I wanted to take that 25 trade and be up over a pip, almost two. Probably be out because of that one ball right now. Or I might have stick in because the it's like the M1 indicator 2 wants to cross below the M5. Speaking of indicators, there's a trader's been sending me emails, like begging me to send him an indicator that can make him money or an EA that can make him money. He wants to make money. I keep telling him, you know, indicators and EAs, you know, really don't make money. Traders make money, you know, because if EAs made money, made real money, the market would cease to exist. They would just, unless they were really smart and they just traded within certain parameters, maybe they just extract $1,000 a day or $100 a day. But, you know, if those EAs were really working, then I think the number of traders who lose would be well under 90%. But since it seems to be over 90, no. I tell the trader he has to learn how to trade. And the thing about trading is, or one thing about trading, you have to realize when you put a trade on, there's a chance you're going to lose. And that's why, you know, one of the first screens I show you is the risk management. Because that's what you really have to manage, is make sure you don't lose too much so you can stay in the game. And so, you know, like I said here, could have shorted that at 25, made a couple of pips, but I didn't have my signal. And it's tough sometimes. I mean, right there was a flip-flop trade. Could have taken it. And right here, the indicator twos were both pointing to the south, but kind of in the middle of that range. Ranges are meant to be broken, meant to expand. And you see here, price came right back. I could have another opportunity to take a short, but I don't like it. And we've got a price action score count of 3 on M5. Now it just I don't want to trade into a 3 or a 4 usually. 3 or higher. Because it pretty much means it's about over. Not always, but you know, just figuring out little things that keep you out of trades that might result in losses. Because any trade can result in a loss, but sometimes things, you just look, you can tell aren't in your favor. So, fellow traders, fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. Hope everybody had a fun and safe weekend. Hey, I won my Super Bowl bets that the Bills and the Niners wouldn't make it, so that was cool. So when you come back to your trading platform, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. Rumpled one.